Welcome back to another edition. More to live for, man. Peace and blessing to all my subscribers, man. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in to the channel, man. All the new subscribers lately, man. It's really nothing short of a blessing. So with that being said, man, I got a good one for you today, man. As you know, yesterday with a big game, Super Bowl, man. I was able to talk to my homeboy Rashad, aka Chosen, aka inmate 0753056, but that's just about over. But talking to him, and ironically, he was getting ready for the big game too. This video ain't about Super Bowls in prison and all of that. I've seen several videos like that, some good ones out there too. But me and him, we're gonna talk about that another time. But this conversation that me and him had yesterday, man, just some of the things that he was talking about, it led to this video, man, that I decided to put together. And I want to say half the information that I got in this video was either public information or events that my homeboy Rashad had seen, got first knowledge of firsthand, and some few particular incidents happened in the same facility that he was in. So before we get started, man, too deep in the story, man, go ahead and run them likes up, man. Go ahead and get them likes up, catch this algorithm, man. Go ahead and get where I'm trying to be with this channel or whatever. Still, the message is never the same. I'm still pushing positivity, and videos like this about prison is really to help the youth and to also advocate for the dudes that's still in there at the same time. Talking about some of their experiences, not necessarily highlighting them, but I mean, the truth is the truth, man. If it really happens in there. So with this one, man, yeah, believe it or not, man, believe it or not, it is a lot of sex and drugs in North Carolina prisons, man. And I'm gonna be real careful, man, when I say sex and drugs. When I'm talking about sex, I'm really not talking about, I'm really talking about like heterosexual sex. Prison is prison, whatever. So like we ain't talking about that. We talking about like some of these guards, they be having sex with inmates or whatever. So no disrespect to nobody, man, but it does happen. It does happen at a alarming rate, man, at an alarming rate. Just for starters, man, I don't know these people right here, but they definitely I definitely remember seeing them in the news not too long ago. Shout out to dude, whoever he is, man. He from North Carolina. When I see him, man, like that's what North Carolina look like. That's what I see in him. You know what I mean? But his particular case, everything that I read, I can't remember what facility he was at. I want to say Maury, but I know that, reports have it that, he was in a full relationship with a CO or whatever. And these COs, man, their heads be so gone from the inmates, man. Like for starters, before I get too deep into this particular case, but like for starters, man, like the inmates, man, like these dudes, they were somebody from where they from, man. So like you can't just think that because they in prison, they are nobody. They were somebody where they from. And sometimes these guards, man, these females, man, they ain't never really been around a dude that caliber, man. They ain't never really been around somebody that really stand on what they say. And then, oh man, don't let a female guard be from a particular area or whatever, and whoever she thought was a big dude around that area, he be locked up where she work at, and she get knowledge that, oh, he ain't shit, he ain't about nothing, man. You thought he was something. Oh man, it really kind of blows their mind in. But not saying that's what happened in this particular case, but some of these female guards ain't really used to being around dudes of that caliber, man. Like dudes that really stand on what they stand on. They know what they in there for, and like they, the proof is in the pudding. So anybody can talk it, but these guys, they actually walked it. So, and some of that, sometimes that's like intriguing to female officers, especially if they got that, if they got that, that love for a bad boy and all that. So with that being said, man, like this dude, he definitely, yeah, man, talking right off of or whatever. And these some of these female guards, they get so comfortable, like they think they at home or whatever, and mess around and try to, be like posted up in the cell or whatever, like really on some home type stuff. Got inmates in restricted areas and whatnot. One particular case, not this one, but it was a case at Maury or whatever. I ain't gonna say her name. A young lady, well, a woman that I know. I ain't know as a correction officer, or whatever. Thankfully, but somebody I got knowledge of. I ain't gonna put a name out there like that, but I mean it's in public information and it was on the news. But in her case, like to my understanding, like it was like I don't know how they pulled it off, but they was getting it in a daggone control tower. So hey, shout out to the homie that pulled that off. But being in Maury, it was like, from my understanding, it kind of went under the radar because so many people at this prison for mental health and stuff like that, and it just so happened to be a smooth ass somebody that slid under the radar was in the mental health side, and wasn't nothing wrong with them, but that just goes with the game that that comes with being a North Carolina inmate. Well, any inmate particular, not just North Carolina inmate, but things like that do happen, man, and guards do be falling deep in love with the inmates, and then they'll get fired, and still, after they go through the court stuff or whatever the charge, whatever the the outcome of their case is, like they'll still be trying to see them. In some particular cases, man, they end up getting married, and then in other cases they end up like still trying to feed into the criminal element that they were so intrigued by, and oftentimes they risking their freedom or they lose their freedom trying to smuggle things onto to inmates, because they already know how the things go, and they no longer work there, so they might have some vendetta, so they still trying to go all in or whatever. But it does happen, man, and I can't. This story, man, y'all got to go check this story out. But she, no respect to neither one of them. But like I said, man, this is the news, man. So this is public information. But in this particular case, she helped dude escape or whatever, and you know what I mean? And that led to more charges on both of them. So they got an escape attempt, escape and all of that. And I think dude was doing some serious time for like a murder charge or something. I don't want to misspeak on something, but I know he was doing some serious time or whatever. It won't no 3 to 5 or nothing like that. So things like that definitely do happen in North Carolina prisons, man. And something else, man, that people really need to understand that goes down in North Carolina prisons too, man. Like it is a high use, and I do mean a real high use of the synthetic marijuana K2 spice. I don't know if anybody ever familiar with that in other states, but I remember that being around, I want to say 2009, 2010. And I remember it being like rushed off the streets or whatever. And I do remember like a couple bodegas that were actually selling it, man. Like them guys, like after they banned it, like them guys were catching like real serious trafficking charges and stuff like that. So with that being said, man, like I definitely remember this stuff coming around. I definitely remember like how fast it became a problem, and people were like, yeah, this shit is crazy. But that stuff made its way into to the prison systems. I never really hear people on the West Coast talking a lot about it, but it's definitely something on the East Coast, and it's definitely something in the South. And to my knowledge, and from what my homeboy Rashad told me, like it's this generation's crack. Like it's like that's how powerful it is. That's how addictive it is, and that's just the things that people go through to get it. And also, the same thing they do, the same advancements that come with THC and CBD. Somehow the people got those same type of advancements with the K2, meaning that they can somehow get it in an edible form, somehow get it in a liquid form, or oil, or cartridge or something like that. Like the same advancements that THC and CBD making, they making the same advancements with K2. So, and needless to say, being a underground drug like that, and being a drug that is real heavy in the prison system, not just North Carolina, but other prison systems. And people are often making millions, well, not millions, but definitely thousands of dollars off of it, because it's pretty much around the same cost of like your loose tobacco that a lot of inmates be finding their way to. So it's a lot. It's a lot of that going on as well. And that kind of just like rolls right into the next topic, because the same way these guards be having sex with inmates, like that's kind of where it started. That might not be their initial aim, or that may not be their initial goal, but it's usually one of the two. It's gonna be trying to get something in, or people in prison, man. They lacking female compassion, female attention, companionship. So like that's the top two things. Like, how can I get me a woman, and what can I get her to bring in for me? So with that being said, man, like those relationships definitely lead to other contraband, and like and stuff like that comes with it. Like not only phones, drugs, and things like that, but well, exactly, things like that. But I want you to take a look at some of this footage I was able to obtain, man, and definitely a disclaimer, man, because there's definitely some graphic images. But this is not North Carolina prison, but just prisons in the South in general, and the effect that K2 has on it. So if you've never seen any, man, just take a look at this, man. You get a full understanding of the type of stuff that's going on with this K2.
Look at it like he finna play football.
Spitting all type of shit. And they should be having dudes spooked about their damn mind. Like,
All right, bro.
damn, look at this dude. Why would you want to be that high in prison? That high in general.
So five, man. Hold on. All right, got that thing fired up. Last time you smoked, you know what happened, right? Nah. You don't remember what happened? But you ready to smoke again. You don't give a fuck, do it. Bet him up there. Fire that shit up there, partner. Shit. Fire that shit. You gotta smoke the whole thing. You want me to top. Here we go again. Part two.
I know it might look like some of these guys being taken advantage of, but I mean,
Okay.
it's prison,
Yeah.
so you can't really feel sorry for anybody. But at the same time, like, I just want y'all to get an understanding of how powerful this drug is and what it really do to people, and
You know
how
what the crazy part
heavy it
is, though?
is
You
in the
already
prison
know what
system.
this shit
Like,
finna
it's
do to
running
you, right?
wild in the prison system.
But you don't even give a fuck. That's
And
crazy.
inmates
Man.
and guards getting rich off of it. Yeah, this right here down south Alabama. But that shit in North Carolina too.
You had to go smoke what?
That shit heavy in North Carolina too,
Yeah,
man.
smoke
So
that thing.
check it out. I don't want you to tripping on me. But yeah, man. So I definitely want y'all to have a good understanding, man. And anybody that that's in prison, man, like keep in mind, man, like that's the type of things that's going on around, not just the violence, but like the heavy drug use, the corruption of officers or whatever, and things like that. And like this K2 shit, man, it's really something serious, man, and something powerful. And as you can see, man, like it had people like zoned out, like the same way crack hit our community, the same way meth hit other communities in the early 2000s. That's kind of what this K2 is. So we're gonna wrap things up right there. I'm the voice of the North. Thanks for watching. Peace and blessings to all.